this fear mongering, we can turn it around and we can turn it into preparation and we can turn it into awareness and wisdom. And this is how our ancestors used to live. We talk about doomsday preppers. There wasn't such a thing. That was everyday life.
Hey, good day, everybody. It's so exciting to be back. We've got an incredible guest with us today, Henna Maria. And Henna has really, in a very short period of time, developed a program called Save Our Food. And Jim and I were speaking about it, and we decided we want to get this out to our audience as fast as we can before this goes live here this coming Friday. So we wanted to make sure that we had a chance to speak with Henna and have her be able to tell you, our audience, exactly what she's up to. So welcome to the Jim Gale Show. We're so grateful to have you here, Henna. Thanks for making time on such a short notice. And introduce yourself to everybody and let us know what you're up to and how we can best serve you.
So my job is to bridge different worlds together through conscious activism and healing principles of natural law. So I've studied ancestral healing with tribal people in the Amazon for 5 years. And I've been an activist for 16 years now, going on 17. And these two worlds really go together. So one is like all about healing the individual and the other one is healing the community. And of course, I'm sure all of your audience knows that we have been going through a massive healing crisis on a planetary level, on a global scale. It's been tremendous wake-up call for many of us. And so I've been involved in this kind of countering the fear that has been blasted at us the last couple of years in different ways, trying to raise awareness about how we can heal ourselves, where our rights come from. So I've talked a lot about natural law. And now the latest initiative, which just kind of was pushed to me from the universe, came through because I was talking to a dear friend and a colleague, Dennis Spaanstra, who is the head of Police for Freedom in Netherlands, about what is happening to the Dutch farmers. And obviously the situation is quite dire there. And it's been a massive wake-up call to all of us to reconsider our relationship to food and how we depend on these agricultural systems. And so it became clear that we need to create some kind of international, universal cross-borders initiative to show our love and support for farmers. And then it became, wait a minute, it's more than just farmers. It's about food. Food is the fundamental foundations for all of our security and our freedom, right? So then this idea came that it has to be save our food. And with this, we want to activate people and inspire people to show that this pending food crisis does not have to happen. And so that's a little intro. I could go on for ages.
And it's mind-blowing what you've done. And how many days ago did this start? Because when an idea is right, when it resonates, when it vibrates, when it comes from a place of the ultimate truth and love and joy and vibration, it explodes throughout the universe, right? So how long have you been working at this?
So since Monday last week. So now we're, I think, day 9.
Day 9. And I've looked at the list of logos on your site and it's fantastic.
Yes, I've been thrilled to see how many people are just keen to take this because, it's an initiative for everyone.
Yeah.
We're not trying to monetize this in any way. We just want to show the world that we can collaborate and how easy it is to collaborate. And that, all of this fear mongering, we can turn it around and we can turn it into preparation and we can turn it into awareness and wisdom. And this is how our ancestors used to live. We talk about doomsday preppers. There wasn't such a thing. That was everyday life.
Yeah.
Of course, they had to make sure that they have enough food for their next generation. And this is the way they lived, intimately connected to the earth. And so with our generation, we've lost that. We've become very complacent and dependent and, if I may say, lazy. Yeah. So living in the jungle myself, I got to see how incredibly empowered these natural people are when they don't need the Western system. They do everything by hand and they sing while they're doing it. They love working. And so I've been exposed to that world there. And then, seeing how this is, of course, all tied to the Agenda 2030 and this coordinated attack against our freedoms and what it means to be a human being. This is like the next step that they are trying to attack is all the supply chains and our fundamental security, which is our access to local and naturally grown food.
Now, you living in the jungle and seeing how the population there operates and lives, would you say overall that they are much happier as well?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Yes.
And why do you think that is?
Because honestly, I think it's all about nature. Because when we're removed from our home, which is the earth, obviously we are animals too, and we belong to this earth. When we're removed from the earth, we start to lose our true nature also. So I see nature is a key to everything. So when you live a natural life in nature, you are exposed to the miracle of life every day. And you're just waking life is exciting, it's wondrous, it's peaceful, it's harmonious. But when we remove ourselves from that environment, that nourishing, wonderful earth, and we live in these little boxes in cities blasted with all these, disharmonious frequencies and pollution and other people's energies, like day in and day out, we start to lose that inner connection, and connection to the divine too. So I see it's one of the same, and I wish that Save Our Food is one of those inspiring sparks that helps people to take a step back towards our original way, our origins, which is the earth.
It most certainly is. The people that you've attracted in 9 days within this network already are the solutions to all of the world's biggest problems. It's profound. And, I'm such a huge fan. I lived in Costa Rica jungles for 12 years and monkeys on the roof. And there's something about being in the vibration of a living system that raises you up. And then there's something about being productive that also brings us joy. In fact, it was quite a while back when I was looking at suicide rates. Japan had 512 per 100,000. The US had like 256. And Nicaragua had 6, right? It's like that tells the tale of a much deeper issue, and that's the disconnection. I remember being in Nicaragua, and it's almost emotional. These kids would come out of these houses that were made of, boards, and they're wood houses, but you could see through the cracks of the house, and they had dirt floors. And I remember seeing them sweeping the dirt floor, and I thought, that's such an interesting thing. And they would come out of their house with these white shirts. Like, how do they do that? I mean, the shirt was so white with the background. It looked like a light. and these people, they were happy. They were connected. They were so family oriented. And it was just such a beautiful thing. And I asked this guy, we bought this property, about 180 acres. And I asked this guy, he was about 40 at the time, so was I. And he grew up there. And I said, oh my gosh, tell me about growing up on this beautiful property. And he said, well, you should have seen it 30 years ago before we cut all the trees down. He said there was a big stream that ran right through the middle of the property. You could see where the stream bed was. It's right there. And I'm like, what happened to the river, the stream here? And he goes, oh, when you cut the trees down, then the streams dry up. And I got so sad. And then I realized that this is all part of the learning, right? Is when we start working with nature instead of trying to destroy and control her. That's the answer to all of it, including our own hearts and minds and spirits.
Amen. Absolutely. It's so true what you said. And you're right. They actually, for them, there is no separation between work and play because they just live. So part of life is, you make sure you have food for your family, you carry the water, you build the fire. And it was so humbling for me to learn all of this, how to make fire, and how to cook on the fire and how to build very humble dwellings and feel the gratitude that comes when you witness the labor, of your own hands and what you can create. And I think that is one of the biggest medicines that humanity needs is gratitude. And honestly, there's no way to cheat yourself into it. All these affirmations, willingness to be grateful, it doesn't do it unless you actually have something you're creating, something that you're belonging to, a community And so this also is something that I wish to inspire with Save Our Food, is to show, look how many people are already growing their food, and look how easy it is, and look how much fun it can be.
As we simplify our lives, which is ultimately what we're talking about here, and going back more to nature, I think it's also very important that people understand we're not saying to remove every ounce of technology from your life, because technology has made our lives better in a number of ways, right? We're communicating here today across oceans via technology. So I have gratitude towards these kind of things as well. And I don't want to be ignorant to say we need to get rid of all this stuff, because that's not the truth. But what technology is providing for us is another layer of abundance, right? So we have the abundance that nature is providing us, and then the intelligent human has been able to design other technologies into these systems that we can now mesh the two of them together and create a world of abundance that is so far potentially only in imaginations, but truly it's here. It's here now. And we get to we have the privilege of connecting at a much deeper way. We have to turn off the television, right? Turn off those distraction things, which if you've ever read the book Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill, that book that he wrote that never got published because it was so controversial at the time, he basically has this interview with the devil, right? He like channels and talks with him, and the devil talks about how he makes us drift and draft all around based on these distractions. And TV is one of those major distractions. The fear is a major distraction. The narrative being pushed around the food crisis and the pandemics and the right financial collapse and all these things, those are potentials, but they're distractions. So if we can settle our minds down, get focused on the things that we all need to do, connect with our neighbor, build our community, grow our food, simplify our lives, we will see very dramatically as we pull away from the system how many people truly want this way. They're everywhere. People want this. They can feel something is wrong. So what you've put together here, Henna, is just a tremendous, tremendous thing in such a short period of time. Can you elaborate a little bit about what inspired you to take that action? You know, really deep down, what inspired you and your husband to take this action, and where you see it going once it's launched on this Friday, and where you want to take it?
Well, what inspired me? Yes, it is my life in the forest. So I grew up in forest in Finland, actually. And then I moved to a big city in London, then San Francisco, and then I went to the rainforest. So I had my upbringing in that natural environment. And then I got to dive deep into the ancestral ways, in the jungle. And honestly, those were the happiest times of my life. The closer I was to nature, the happier I would be. And so I had this seed planted in me already. I knew that is the way, is to be back in nature. And then seeing how this, coordinated attack against humanity, this whatever we're going through right now, is trying to totally paralyze us. So if it isn't the pandemic, now they're talking about agricultural collapse and taking away that last thing that we're all holding on to, which is food. And I just felt like, we do create our own realities, but we do it together. So I see we're all co-creators, and that if we want to co-create that future of food scarcity and poverty and total suffering and dependency on state, we can do that, out of our own ignorance, or we can choose differently. And so I have tremendous faith in when you put a seed of hope out there, when you put a seed of possibility, people will recognize it. And just as you said, we already have that abundance, that life waiting to blossom in us. So it's like a seed that is just waiting to be nourished. So that's really my inspiration for it. And then what do I see it becoming? Well, first of all, counter this fear with this beautiful imageries of food, our farmers market. So basically, okay, let me go one step back. So on the 22nd of July, which is this Friday, we're inviting everyone to participate in this action day. And this is to take a stand for food sovereignty and to counter this fear around food scarcity, and show that together we can collaborate to create abundance and possibility for all of us to access natural, locally grown food. So we're asking people to take pictures of themselves with the local farmers with their backyard garden, their fruit orchards, or at their farmers market with local produce, with a message or a sign saying save our food, and then sharing that on your social media channels with the hashtag save our food. So we can create this groundswell movement and this flooding of images of happy farmers and food. So we can just do away with that nonsense of as if there wasn't enough land or food to feed us all. You know, like we create this field of possibility and hope out there. And then when we got all these people collaborating and we have these people activated to feel that potential, okay, we can do this, then I'd love to gather all the waymakers and all the people with the resources and skills and solutions around food and sustainable living under this website, included in this website, so that people can find their resources that they need. So I'm thinking, you know, seed banks, you know, food packaging solutions, permaculture and regenerative farming methods, you know, eco-village blueprints, medicine garden blueprints, all of these things like systems, farmer to home market systems, what you guys are doing, you know, all of these people, so that when people go to saveourfood.net, there's an entire bank of information, like a seed bank of the new world. And then through there, they can find what they need. And so we're not looking to monetize it in any way. We want to make it a people's initiative, just gathering the information to show that this is possible. And in fact, lots of people are already doing this.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
Oh, that's beautiful. We're completely aligned. And I've already shared your information with several people, Lemongraft and many more. And it's about exactly what you're doing. It's about bringing together what's already out there in a way where everybody wins. Like, you know, we talk about collaboration over competition. And let's go back to competition. There's one thing that we're all competing with, and that's evil, psychopath, whatever you call these destructive elements that are destroying our planet, right? There's a lot of different names for them. And there are of them, but let's turn our energy towards the collaboration or competition, collaboration with each other, competition against evil. Like that's a fun thing to win over.
Yeah, totally. And it's so true what you're saying. You know, I feel like the other side is collaborating and they are very invested and they are like doing this coordination. Yeah. So it's time that the light, you know, the love, the humanity does the same. Yeah. And because we have this inspiration in us, we can do it very fast. Whereas I think for them, it takes centuries of planning because they're very without creativity. You know, it's more like a machine consciousness that is running them. So we can manifest things like this if we have the right energy as it's happening now. And I'm just over the moon and I'm just like taking breaths in between. Like, is this happening? But yes, it is. We are coming together.
Yes, it's so exciting. You said something. I want to focus on what you said there. Somebody told me the other day, one of our partners, a great guy, incredibly connected. He goes, Jim, I just don't know if we have time because they've been planning this for so long. They have resources. They have trillions of dollars. They have the control of the currency and all this stuff. I said, but they don't have spirit. They don't have creative energy. They're thieves. That's all they can do. They cannot be out ahead of it. They have to control it from what it is, right? And so you nailed that when you said that. So powerful. We have the creative abilities of spirit, of source on our side. And that's all we need. Now let's continue to plant those seeds, right? And get the word out.
Yeah, they're focused on control, right? They're focused on taking us down, removing our power, removing our connection to each other. Right? Separating, division, put us all in a box, whatever your label is, that's what they want. Where what we're talking about is removing all of those barriers and walls, connecting everybody together, taking inspired action around collaboration and communication and bringing out the true human potential, right? Unleashing that potential that I don't even know if we've ever really been able to unleash it the way we have the ability to, because as soon as people are born today, the light begins to dim, right? And even starts before that. Mom vaccinated when she's carrying baby, that's already putting toxic chemicals into that child. So question is, does it ever at this point do we ever get that ability to truly bring out the best of human potential? And I might argue that maybe we don't. And now that we are aware of this, we can make better choices and, unleash really our potential here, which they're trying to stop. And we're going to do it through collaboration.
And nature heals everything. Nature's infinitely more powerful than any of that BS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. Whatever there's a poison for, there's a medicine for as well.
Yeah.
And it's growing right here on this earth, and we just got to find it. We just got to tune back to the memory of our ancestors and know that they've been living on this earth for millennia, so we can get through this. That's what gives me hope when I think of all the hurdles that we've been through as a species, the floods, the genocides, everything. And you see, wow, there are even indigenous people still alive today after everything they did. They're still here. They didn't all die and vanish away. They're still here. So that gives me a lot of hope. I've met direct descendants of the Inca people in Peru and spoken to them in depth. And they told me, we're still here. I don't know what they're talking about saying that Inca people vanished. We are here and we are breathing. Yeah, we wear the different clothes, but we still carry their blood and their spirit. So, we're going to do the same, and we're going to give birth to this new earth in such a beautiful way that, wow, I just can't wait to live through it and witness it all.
God. So how else can we support you?
Yeah, so join the Action Day on Friday, the 22nd. Blast your images of food and farmers on your social media with the hashtag Save Our Food. And then, contact us. If you have resources, if you have, skills, if you have ideas about how we can do this, cross-culture, beyond boundaries collaboration to help people have security of their food and their lives, then write to us at info@saveourfood.net. Also, we could do with some help, maybe with designers, maybe translators. We'd love to have the site translated to all the major languages. If you're a mentor, a teacher, how to help people go through the transition from this kind of zoo human being into a free, wild being of the earth, and you'd like to help people and mentor them, we can host all of these different platforms on our website. We'd love to link you in.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Well, I love it. Thank you so much for everything you're doing. I was on a podcast with the Ike family this morning, Gareth Ike, and now I got one actually. And right now I've got another one. So that's what I'm doing too, is all day, every day. Let's get the word out. So we're going to support you as much as we can. And thank you so much for what you're doing.
Yeah,
thank you guys. It's been an honor. Thank you for your collaboration.
Beautiful.
Thank you for tuning into the show. You can check out more episodes on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, and your favorite podcast apps. Check out our show notes for any websites linked to this episode, including where to connect with us on social media.
We appreciate you dropping by today. Remember to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you'll be updated with each episode.
And visit us at thejimgaleshow.com to check out all of our exclusive content. We appreciate you dropping by.